bronze medal matchup in the recurve men's division. It'll be Mexico against Italy. First off, for the team from Mexico, shooting on target number 1, a FITA world ranking of number 15. They qualified in the number 5 position. It's a team that saw them beat Russia, followed by a huge upset win against the United States, who were previously ranked number 1.
Mexico, Juan Rene Serrano.
The athletes, Juan Rene Serrano, Luis Eduardo Velez Sanchez, and Pedro Vivas Alcala. Target number 2 from Italy, a FITA world ranking of number 7. They qualified second overall.
Michele Frangilli, Mauro Nespoli,
Michele Frangilli, Mauro Nespoli, and Marco Galiazzo make up this trio of men that are competing for this bronze medal. Italy found their way here with victories against Germany and the People's Republic of China in a very tight match, 221-219. However, they fell to France, 222-219, and now find themselves in a bronze medal matchup with the team from Mexico.
Mexico has never won
They
a team medal at any World Championships before. So this
have a very good opportunity to hit the podium once again here in Turin, Italy. Should mention that after 3 face-to-face encounters, Italy leads this head-to-head competition at 3-0. Mexico has never won any team medal at the World Championships when you combine the men and women together. Since the matches were introduced back in 1993 in Italy, Italy has won 3 kinds of medals: a gold in 1999, a silver in 1997, and also in 2001, and also a bronze medal in the 2003 season.
They reversed themselves. Now they're saying it's an 8.
And as I mentioned, Allison, earlier, Mexico defeating the United States, and on that U.S. roster, Brady Allison in the quarterfinal, which is an accomplishment in its own, considering that Allison may be the very best as we speak in this discipline.
Yeah, they. I think the Mexicans are a surprise, really, to see them reach this stage, because they're ranked. Well, they did well in the qualifying. They did rank 5th, but their FITA world ranking is 15. We haven't seen the consistency that we see from the other teams. We see Korea and we see Italy frequently.
Exactly, yeah.
At this point of the competition. So it'll be interesting to see how they cope with the nerves.
Both teams off to a little bit of a slow start here. The Italians with 25 of a possible 30 points. And the team from Mexico concluding their first 3 arrows with 26 of a possible 30 points. A slim 1-point advantage for the team from Mexico, but still plenty of more arrows in play in this competition. Six points. Allison, if I'm correct, I don't think we've seen that today.
No, that's. I couldn't see anything technically wrong with the shot, but the wind isn't really that strong to make the arrows drift that far, so I think it probably was more archer error.
9-10 liner on that last shot from Marco Galiazzo.
As I say, I watched Italy shoot in a World Cup recently in Turkey in this men's team, and they really didn't perform that well. So
10.
They ended well there with the 10, but as you mentioned, it's you know, they're here in the opportunity for a bronze medal, but nonetheless they've had their ups and downs along the way with their results recently.
There's another arrow drifted out to the right, so I wonder if there is a wind that they're not picking up at this end of the line. as the arrows go down, they're getting caught somewhere, you know, maybe 40, 50 meters down the range. But the majority of the arrows today have been drifting that way. But it's very tricky for the archer then to, if you're not feeling a wind on the shooting line, to know where to aim off or how much, because you can't feel
9 points.
feel the wind, and especially if it's really hot as well is another factor. The wind's stronger, but you don't feel it because it's warm.
Right.
If it was 10, 15 degrees cooler and you could feel the wind, you would definitely compensate more.
I was going to ask you, based on the starting line and where they shoot, is it like it appears that it's possible, but you could almost have a different sort of wind at the starting area than you can at the target. Because you sit there and you have an opportunity that you know, it's a 70-meter difference.
Yeah,
it's you know, you what you see in one area you may not you may not see in the other.
it can be really disconcerting if the flags are indicating in one way and you're shooting and the arrows are landing somewhere else.
Just experiencing a little bit of technical difficulty, folks. We'll have this cleared away momentarily, but officially now in the books, or unofficially I should say in the books, Mexico holding a 52-50 advantage. They're still looking at that 9-10 liner. They do not get that point, however, so it will go down as a 9 and officially will be a 2-point edge after 6 arrows for Mexico.
So Italy will start the next end.
Just some great crowds here in Torino this morning. Fantastic venue, as we've alluded to throughout our broadcasts, and the crowd definitely supporting this this event, as it's been very publicized throughout the city and throughout the country, and it's just it's been a fantastic week here in Torino.
10 points for Marco there. He's the Olympic champion from Athens in 2004.
Nespoli with 7, excuse me, it's an 8 points.
8 points.
Hai sentito Vella sotto, gli ha detto non era tirata male, per non mortificare l'atleta, ma era vero, ma non era tirato male neanche quel 6. Per qualcosa.
9 for Michele.
Finishing up with a 27 of a possible 30 points. And we'll move to target number 1 in Mexico.
There's an 8.
Again, the Mexicans don't seem to have had many arrows to the left side of the target. They are having some wind drift.
10 points, dead center.
10 points, dead center.
Splendido riconoscimento per noi, soltanto l'Olimpiade è più importante di un mondiale, 8-10 in match dall'altra. Pedro Forte, Pedro Forte dice il tecnico dei messicani. Pedro dice vabbè, forte pure, ma intanto ci sono anche gli altri, 8-10-8, vedi che siamo di nuovo attaccati.
So the Italians have chipped away at that lead. It's now down to 1 point for Mexico at 78-77. 3 more arrows in play for both of these teams in this end.
Marco, 9-10, it's a 9.
Interesting release there from Marco.
I noticed you watching the monitor there. What did you see differently as far as his release? Because I know you've You've
Mauro.
been in similar competitions with him.
Before we watched the Korean women doing that,
Yep.
the practice of that strong elbow execution, and it's quite sharp. We didn't see that in
Marco's delivery.
Michele, it is a 7.
7 points.
Michele knew that was
Possible
a good
5-point
shot.
lead
I
for
don't know if the
Mexico
time
next
factor
3 arrows.
had a bearing on it, but his follow through and his release there was
Like in other sports, it's you know, sometimes once you release it, you really know if it's a good shot or not even looking at the target.
Questa lui ha allungato un po' la seconda freccia.
Appunta, sta soltada, appunta, appunta, forte, soltada, forte.
Anche tu, sta bene.
10 points, they go back to back.
Pedrito, soltada, está aflojando, soltada, más fuerte, soltada. Más fuerte, fuerte.
Lots of time.
8 points.
Delivers an 8 though. That could have been a lot worse as far as the climb that Mexico would have to, or the climb that Italy would have to do to get back into this competition.
Yeah, it's still really close.
I believe it's a 3-point advantage for the team from Mexico. Bronze medal matchup in this Recurve men's team event. 106 out of a possible 120 so far. The midway point of competition for the team from Mexico. And as far as the team from Italy is concerned, 103 of a possible 120 midway point. With a little bit of a break in the action here, Allison, between almost a halfway point, so to speak. Is there anything that's really discussed amongst, because it almost looked like the three of them kept to themselves outside of casual chat?
Italia! Italia! Italia!
Yeah.
I think sometimes the wind
Mexico! Mexico!
can be a factor. We will always, in our team rounds, discuss the aiming of. But when you're waiting for the score and the arrows to be collected, it's just trying to maintain a level of calm.
As an athlete, do you even like the break? Because I know I've talked to some of them in the past, and they just want this thing to continue.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's if you're in a flow and you've got a good rhythm going, whereas if you struggled on an end, it might be a good time to regroup.
Right. And we'll see if Italy could regroup here. They have some work to do. They're behind in this competition.
Well, I've seen Italy shoot some amazing arrows. They can shoot 59s.
Absolutely.
So it's still anyone's game.
12 arrows for both of these teams remaining.
9.
Dai Cillo, come l'hai chiamato tu che lavori con questi ragazzi tutti i giorni. Punta del naso, apice delle labbra, punta del mento, l'allineamento nell'accademia di questo sport, senza interferenze. Se invece qualche cosa arriva nelle braccia. Ah, a proposito, braccio soprattutto.
Michele seems to be struggling a little bit today. He's
Preliminari dell'individuale per un'allergia.
26 of a possible 30 points on their first 3 arrows, and when you're trying to make ground, you need 28 or better. Hey, in an ideal world, they'd probably want 30s.
Hasta soltada, apunta, hasta soltada. Forte, soltada, apunta, hasta soltada, forte. Forte,
8.
Está bien, está bien.
Però dice sempre forte forte, non è che sia sto gran conforto, forte forte, uno un giorno si gira e gli dice vabbè provaci tu. 9-8 intanto, noi proviamo ad scannare l'attesa sorridendo.
And an 8.
Ma intanto i messicani sono avanti.
You know what? They've gained some ground.
Yeah, Italy.
129, vediamo la terza volée, seconda
They
parte
cut into
della
that lead by 1.
cosa ci porta a casa.
Mexico holding on to a 2-point advantage. 3 arrows remaining in this end.
9.
Tempo giusto,
Still waiting for our first 10 on the board in this end.
9.
Tre avieri tutti e tre, bisogna volare squadra azzurra che alla fine porta la divisa dell'aeronautica militare, c'è un gruppo militare, il colonnello lo giudice sicuramente davanti alla televisione aperitivo per i suoi ragazzi
9 points.
militari che sono colonna nella vita dello
It only ends off
in questo caso.
with 3 consecutive 9s. 156 now with 6 to go. And now we'll turn our attentions to target number 1 with Mexico in their final 3 shots of this end. We regain that point back.
I think Serrano would be really disappointed if he finishes in 4th in both team events here this morning.
No, that's exactly it. We saw him a little bit earlier on falling just short,
Apunta,
and he does not want to repeat that.
apunta, soltada, forte.
Vediamo se però premo io quanto vuoi.
And they've increased that lead.
Io tremo quanto voglio, ma intanto faccio 10.
Pedro ya sabe, soltada,
Pedro, tu
Más
sai.
fuerte soltada.
Pedro, tu sai quello che devi fare, fai la stessa cosa che hanno fatto i tuoi compagni, 10-10. Non
Eight
lo
points.
ascolta Pedro.
8 points.
Pedro,
With 6 arrows remaining.
So this is what it comes down to. 6 arrows remaining in this competition. Mexico holding on to a slim 3-point advantage, but some people will look at 3 points going, you know what, that's a very tough task to mount and to overcome. But Allison, we've seen it here in the past, even this morning, where teams have been down by 2 or 3 points, and all of a sudden it's a brand new game with a couple 10s as opposed to a couple of 8s or 9s.
Isn't it? Yeah, they actually shoot 9s, 8s and 9s, and they just need to tie.
Yep.
By the time then we'll have a shoot-off situation. So
And man, that would be exciting if there was a shoot-off between these two countries. Just it's been some pretty good shooting so far, but we'll see if they need extra arrows at the end of these 6, as we see some of the highlights of the previous end.
It's the final 6 arrows of the bronze medal men's recurve match of the 2011 Archery World Championships here in Turin.
just
Italy shooting first.
slightly off, and that can make all the
They
difference.
trail by
between,
3.
you know, a 10 and an 8.
Is it something that a teammate could help him correct, or is it something that, you know, he knows what he's doing wrong? He just has to, I guess, turn it around himself.
Te l'ho detto prima, tutto lì di riga.
If you've got a good relationship with your team and your teammates know your shot, they can they might see something specific, you know, with the front arm or the back arm. Just remind them of
Inguardabile sei in partenza.
this is a good start. Crucial end for them.
Serrano comunque a questi livelli ha rimesso le cose a posto. Frangilli.
9.
9 points.
6 shots to go for Mexico, 3 shots to go for Italy.
28 points with their first 3 arrows.
Mexico, the arrow came out of the quiver too soon.
Oh, that's interesting. Yellow card for Mexico. No, we haven't. Now explain that to us. That apparently the arrow came out a little too fast. How does that work?
The point of the arrow can't be seen until, and there he had a slight flinch there, his back elbow, if you notice. It's just edged forward before the release. I think the yellow card is
Tranquilo.
Yeah, I was just going to say that we may see the effects of it right there, and we did with that 8.
Yeah, the point of the arrow mustn't remove from the quiver until both feet, until the archer has crossed the line, until the 1 foot is in front of the line. And sometimes, you know, in preparation or anticipation, you'll get the arrow out as you're walking. And if the judge spots it, it's an infringement. And you have to then return back across the waiting line. And it costs 5 vital seconds, and now this could be a really...
We'll pay special attention to their final two shots, maybe even their final shot, because that's, as we've talked about earlier, that's that third person is the one that pays for these time mistakes, and we'll see if it does come back to hurt Mexico. 8 points.
Final arrow.
He's going to be very disappointed with that effort. This was a very big opportunity for them, and they needed, you know, a range of 29 to 30 on these final 3 shots, and they're not going to get it.
10 points.
Good finish, 28. 56 of a possible 60.
Final 3 shots for Mexico.
Down to our last 3 shots of this bronze medal matchup here in the Recurve men's team event. And starts off well with a 10. Nice rebound from his 8 in the previous shot after drawing that yellow card foul.
Oh, I think it's the time factor. It definitely is affecting the archer.
5 points there.
You've got one eye on the target and one eye on the clock.
Oh, geez. They need a 10 just to tie.
The arrow is 7.
This is unbelievable, but the team from Italy will steal the bronze medal.
Wow.
A 5 and a 7 on the last 2 shots for Mexico proves to be deadly. Italy wins in upset fashion. Right when you thought Mexico had this bronze medal clinched, it slips away and falls to Italy. They win here and claim the bronze in the Recurve men's team event. And when you walked into competition today, the Italians were the favorite, but clearly the Mexican team played well enough to win this until the final 2 shots.
Well, I think it's the yellow card at the beginning of that match, at the beginning of that last end, really affected.
Congratulations to Mexico.
What a result for the Italians, and what a disappointment for Mexico. It will officially go down as a 2-12-209 win for Italy. And just